Today I'm reacting to Hublot copying Cartier, Zenith copying Rolex, and Rolex being on drugs. Yeah, that's the baseline of Watches and Wonders 2022. It's the 30th of March, that means that new watches are being introduced. Before we get into this video, please subscribe to the channel now, and if you want to buy or sell your watch, please go to prideandpinion.com. Let's talk about the new watches introduced in Watches and Wonders 2022. First up, alphabetical order, the T for Tudor. Doesn't matter, don't ask. I just want to start with Tudor. I am so ridiculously excited with the Tudor Black Bay Pro. And again, this is proven that Tudor is heading towards the right direction and beating Omega to shit. And this is Tudor's way of showing that they can be the cool kid and that they will be better than Rolex. Absolutely incredible release by Tudor, and I'm very, very excited to see what the future holds for this watch. The Tudor Black Bay Pro is the second watch made by Tudor featuring a GMT function. It's really dating back out of the Explorer 2 era. Reference number 1655. It's the same diameter as the Black Bay 58, 39mm, GMT function, and an absolute incredible hint back to the history of the Rolex Explorer line. Tudor also introduced a gold and steel version of their GMT. To be honest, that's absolutely horrible looking. Like, that is just no. And a gold and steel champagne dial chronograph. Not sure what they were thinking there. You see what it is with Tudor, right? When they bring out an absolute cracker of a watch, they also have to introduce the piece of shit, which they've done here as well. And it's every year, mate. It's like they need to balance themselves. They can't be too good. They can't be better than Rolex. You see what I mean?
Rolex self-sabotaging.
Yeah, this is Rolex self-sabotaging, basically. Jaeger-LeCoultre GLC. I'm showing respect. Unbelievable. Most probably one of the nicest world timers I have ever seen in my life, period. You know what? I'm gonna actually hold that watch tomorrow in my hands. The Master Grande Tradition Caliber 948. Absolutely incredible world timer. Features a tourbillon as well, which is a bit of a useless complication, but it's cool. The dial is spectacular. I must say, together with the Polaris Perpetual GLC, you have knocked it out of the park. For all you watch enthusiasts, I have seen what Lange has done, but it's just not significant enough for me to talk about it. And they're German. Nothing against Germans. Although I must say the 1815 chronograph in white gold, very nice. Well done. Then we go, alphabetical order. Patek Philippe has done it again. One of my favorite ever features and one of my favorite ever watches produced by Patek Philippe is the Calatrava 5524, the rose gold version of the travel time. Patek Philippe has done it. Patek Philippe has brought out another travel time, and for me, the travel time is one of the best functionalities of a watch next to a GMT, but that's quite similar because you can see home time. Anyway, the 5326G travel time by Patek Philippe. That dial is spectacular. They've combined, they've merged together the annual calendar and the travel time, and I love it with an incredible dial. Big thumbs up to Patek Philippe. The 5326 is gonna be an absolute home run. They also brought out with a similar dial a three-hander Calatrava, which they can, yeah, it's boring as to be fair. You know my respect for Zenith, right? Zenith, unbelievable, right? They sound like a Russian Hoover brand, but respect. Even when they introduced the Defy Extreme like 10 years ago, you see that black watch that we have in the shop? You call it Defy Extreme, and anyway, Google it. Even with that, I still respected Zenith. For the El Primero, the first ever fully integrated chronograph ever in the world, the history of the brand. Recently, Zenith introduced basically a bit of a Daytona ripoff, right? Which is fine because the Daytona exists today because of Zenith, with caliber 4030 in 1988. So I take that, I'm fine with that. Now they're going one step too far. So they brought out the steel Chronomaster with a ceramic bezel, same as Rolex. And then they brought out a solid gold Chronomaster, but not with a ceramic bezel, exactly like Rolex. Now it's going a little bit too far, Zenith. As well, the gold and steel, also not with a ceramic bezel. The point I'm trying to make is that Zenith is exactly copying Rolex with every watch. Zenith, what the f***? Now we go back to the C because that's alphabetical. Cartier doing what Cartier does best, bringing out tanks like no tomorrow. I may be a tank myself, but tanks are definitely not for me, mate. My mom once told me that if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. I don't have anything nice to say about Cartier. Cartier is always doing the Cartier, and it's every year the same. New Santos, lovely colors, it's all the same, mate. Before we get into the main event, and we're talking about, of course, Rolex, I want to talk about Omega's collaboration with Swatch. I absolutely love it, and I think it's incredibly good for our industry. This collaboration made a lot of new watch collectors. This collaboration made a lot of new watch enthusiasts, which is good for absolutely every single one of us. The only thing I'm extremely disappointed about is the dirty flippers that were queuing up for hours to get their hands on a watch to then put it online for thousands of pounds. It's a disgusting move, and you guys need to have a really good look at yourself. And why the f would you pay over retail for that watch anyway? They're mass produced and will be online most probably in the next month. Right, I want to talk about Hublot trying to copy the rest of the world again. Hublot really has a lack of creativity, don't they? Jesus Christ. They see the Cartier Santos doing well. What the do they want to do? They're gonna make out their own Hublot Cartier Santos. Hublot is the filth of this industry. What else did Hublot do? Let me see. Hublot website. I can't believe that I'm even on this website. Square bang Unico, a new watch shape. Takes form and watches and wonders. This is written by Hublot on the Hublot website. Can I rephrase? A new watch shape takes form and watches and wonders. Hublot, that's not a new watch shape. That's a copied watch shape. You are a copycat. You just made a version of the Cartier Santos and sell it for much more. You're a prick. I mean, it looks disgusting. The only good thing about this watch is, I can't believe I'm actually saying this, using my name in your movement. You, Nico, it's my name.
It's a tribute to you.
This watch is a tribute to me, like. Right, are we talking about Rolex being on drugs? Shall we do that now? Rolex being on drugs, mate. You know what destro watches are? Destro watches is watches made for people that wear their watches in the right hand. This introduction of the GMT shows that Rolex is testing things out with Tudor years in advance. Look at the Destro Tudor Pelagos, where the crown is on the left hand side, right? They've tested that. I have not seen any honest review about the GMT yet. I think the color combination looks shit. No offense, but I'm colorblind and I can even see it's shit. What is the whole point of making a destro watch? Is this the lack of creativity? If they introduced a Coke version of the GMT with the crown on the normal side, they would probably have a waiting list of 25 years. Don't get me wrong, I don't like the Coke variant. To be completely honest, I'm not a big fan of it. I genuinely think they could have done without that watch. It's f***ing horrible, mate. It's literally Rolex being on drugs. I'm not even joking, but Rolex disappoints every single year. With Rolex, not with Tudor, because with Tudor they always overachieve, mate. One thing I am very much liking is the fact that Rolex finally figured out how to make a fluted bezel in platinum. I think it's very, very good that they finally figured it out. But I got used to the dome bezel on the platinum, if you know what I mean. So that is now for me the platinum. The Mac Daddy day date was very clear. It was the platinum day date and it had a domed bezel. Now with this one, there's no Mac Daddy of the day dates anymore. It could have been white gold. Although I celebrate the innovation, I celebrate that they've finally been able to do it. Not a big fan. New Yachtmaster 42 in yellow gold, oyster flex, love it. And other than that, this is a bit like a marriage, right? Rolex and I are currently in a down spiral. Like at a certain point, I'm gonna reconsider my options and think maybe I can divorce Rolex. The last time I was excited to see what Rolex has done was the introduction of the Pepsi. Anytime after, I was disappointed. Underwhelmed. Now I'm off to Geneva. Rolex, if you want to talk about our relationship, I'll see you tomorrow.